I don't know about you, but I am really easy to make happy. Lots of things make me happy, like Dr. Pepper. Just one can is all I need, and I'm pretty happy. Here's something that makes me happy. For the first time in a long time, the Cowboys are making me happy. I don't know that Dak is pretty awesome. All right, let's see. Do you wish you were there right now instead of, it's cold here, you're in school? I have never in my life been on a beach and been stressed out, right? I have never been on a beach and been like, oh, I'm so miserable, okay? It's always relaxing. There's nothing to worry about. I'm happy when I'm on a beach. We all like to be happy, and there's lots of things that make us happy, and we want to be happy. I've never met somebody in my life that said, I just want to be sad. I hate being happy. Happy's the worst. Okay, I hate it. Nobody's ever said that. Everybody likes to be happy. Everybody likes to have peace. Nobody likes to be stressed out. I mean, you're not like, oh, I just love it when I have so much homework, I can't take it, and I feel like I'm going to die. And nobody feels that way. Nobody likes to be stressed out. Everybody likes to be happy. Everybody likes to have peace. And in fact, I actually believe that God likes us to be happy, that He wants us to be happy. In fact, one of my favorite verses in all of the Bible is in Psalms 144. It says this, happy are the people whose God is the Lord. In other words, if the Lord is your God, He's who you serve, you can be happy. So if God wants us to be happy, you want to be happy. It's like in the Declaration of Independence or something, right? The pursuit of happiness. Why aren't we happy sometimes? Why are some of you right now even miserable? Okay, if I ask you how you doing, you're like, okay? You're not doing well. Why is it that sometimes we're not happy? If we want to be happy, God wants us to be happy, but we're not happy. Some of you are happy most of the time, but you go through phases when you're not. Some of you are rarely happy. Some of you can't remember the last time you were happy. Some of you are stressed out all the time. Certainly not happy when you're stressed out. Well, there's something we've talked about before here, and even if you weren't here, you probably know this. You've never thought of it this way, okay? But you know that this is true just kind of like intuitively or whatever. Happiness depends on what happens. Happiness depends on what happens. If what's happening is good, you are happy. When you ask your parents if you can do something and they say yes, you're happy, right? When you go and you take a test and you knew all of the answers and you get a good grade, you are happy, okay? When you're getting along with your friends, you're happy. When you find out that your crush has a crush on you, you're happy, okay? When things are happening the way you want, you're happy. The problem is, sometimes lots of times, what's happening is not what you want, right? What's happening is the opposite. You have way too much work and you can't get it all done. You take the test and you're like, I knew one. What's the score for one? You're counting how many questions. Oh, that's like 2 points. I'm in trouble, all right? You're not happy. You're stressed out. In fact, I could replace happiness with stress or peace. You know, we're stressed if what's happening isn't what we want. When what's happening is bad, we're stressed out. So when things are happening good, we're happy. When things aren't happening good, we're not happy. And there are lots of things that can happen that take happiness. We're going to talk about some of these over the next few weeks, but today I want to talk about a big one, okay? People. Difficult people. Now, if you agree with this, say yes. Some people are dumb.
Yes.
Some people are mean.
Yes.
Parents are confusing sometimes.
Yes.
That was a little louder than the last one. All right. Some people are annoying.
Yes.
Okay. Your sibling, your brother, no, I'm just kidding. Okay. Yeah, there are people that are difficult, okay? That you will all encounter difficult people. And if you don't know anyone difficult, you are. No, okay. No, so we all encounter difficult people. And here's the thing about difficult people. They steal your happiness if you let them, okay? They can take away your joy and make you stressed out. That could be a coach. It could be a teacher. It could be a boss. It could be someone in your family. In fact, a lot of times it's especially someone in your family. Have you ever noticed that somebody in your family can do something that if anybody else did, it wouldn't bother you, but when they do it, it bothers you? Does anybody else? So I'm driving down the road the other day, And my wife is with me, and she goes, there's a car coming. And I was like, okay. And I'm sitting there, I'm driving, I'm sitting there thinking, I've been driving for like 15 years before I had you in the car. I know how to drive. I got eyes. I can see. I'm not saying any of this out loud, okay? I'm just thinking all this. I'm like, and then all of a sudden I thought, why am I upset? Because if I was with anyone else in the car and they said, hey, there's a car, I'd be like, oh, thanks, man. I wouldn't care. But because it was her. Now, some of you are looking at me judgmentally right now. But whenever you're with your brother or your sister, they move your stuff. I told you not to move my stuff. Stop moving my stuff. And your friend comes over and takes your stuff, eats your stuff. And you're like, oh, cool, no problem. But your brother or your sister, like, poke, you freak out. And why is that with family? Family just is a totally different dynamic. And if you're not careful, your family can be the source of the reason you don't have happiness, the reason you are stressed out. It could certainly be friends or other people. Some of you just have that person when you see them at school or you see them at work or you see them wherever, and they just make you upset just by seeing them. And so people can steal your happiness, can steal your peace. But this is actually not the end of the story, because it's not just what happens that determines your happiness. Happiness doesn't just depend on what happens. Happiness depends on how we respond to what happens. So we're starting a series tonight called Respond. So happiness depends on how we respond to what happens. And there's lots of different things that we'll talk about that can happen to take happiness, and how we respond makes a difference. And how you respond to difficult people will determine whether or not you stay stressed out or you get back to relaxed, back to peace. Whether you stay unhappy or you become happy. If you'll learn how to respond correctly to the difficult people in your life. Now, it turns out that the Bible talks a whole lot about how to deal with bad happenings. That when happenings don't go your way, that there is a way to stay happy. There is a way to have joy, or there is a way to have peace, even when what's happening is not. And even when you have a lot of difficult people in your life. And some of you are sitting there thinking about difficult people, and you're like, okay, yeah, there's a lot. She's really bad. Okay, so you've got somebody in your mind. Some of you just right away, you start thinking of a difficult person. It turns out that the Bible talks about it, and Jesus talked about it. In Matthew chapter 5, we're going to start there. We're going to look at a couple verses tonight, but I was looking in my Bible this week, and when I read, I often put notes, like I highlight and I put sticky notes in, just so I can remember stuff. And right at the beginning of Matthew chapter 5, Jesus is teaching, kind of like there was an audience, and he was teaching. And I wrote here, I put, weird ways to be happy. That was my note that I wrote, weird ways to be happy. And the reason is because he says, blessed are, and he says that over and over again, blessed are this person, blessed is this person, blessed is this. And that word blessed is to have God's favor on your life, to be blessed by God. And it also means to be happy. It can be translated happy, because it was written in Greek, and that word is sometimes translated happy. So in a lot of ways, this is ways to be happy. And so the one we're going to look at is 5, verse 9. There's a whole bunch. Guess what? We're going to look at one. Aren't you glad? We're going to look at one of the things that he taught here. And so in Matthew 5, verse 9, he's talking about dealing with difficult people, as you're going to see. He says, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will inherit the kingdom, or for they will be called sons of God. I was thinking of another verse. Anyways, for they will be called sons of God. Blessed are the peacemakers. Now, just for our sake, I'm going to use the word happy, because it could mean that. Happy are the peacemakers. Now, what is implied by this verse is that there's going to be times when you are with people that you're not naturally going to have peace, that you're going to have to be a peacemaker. You have to make it because there's not peace. In other words, there's going to be times when there's conflict with some people, and you can be a peacemaker. And what did he say about peacemakers? They're happy. Peacemakers are blessed. And so when we're dealing with difficult people, if we can learn how to be a peacemaker, we can have peace, even when you're with difficult people, even when you're with somebody that's on your nerves, even if you're sitting next to them right now. You can elbow them and say, you're on my nerves right now, okay? So this implies that we're going to have some conflict and that we have an option. So let's think of it like this. If you have if you live with anybody, then you know about this, okay? If you are ever around, people, especially if you have a sibling, okay, then you know all about conflict, okay? There's going to be a time when they just got on your last nerve, okay? There's going to be a time when they said they were and then they didn't. There's going to be a time when they got in your way, they made you late, whatever, okay? There's going to be conflict. Conflict when you're in a relationship, when you're dealing with people. But we have an option. When there is conflict, we have a choice in how we will respond. That's what we're talking about, how we respond. So you can respond. You respond to conflict. So your brother or your sister's annoying you, your parents said no, and they don't really understand you, and whatever. You got all these different things. Your teacher gave you way too much to do. You've got conflict. How you respond, you can respond many different ways. For example, you could make a point. And we like to do this, don't we? I am just going to speak my mind, and I'm going to let them know exactly how I feel because they are just stupid, okay? And so you just make your point. Have you ever done that? You just need to listen to me make my point, and you let them have it, right? You can make your point, or guess what you could do? You could make peace. Because, some of you are really disappointed right now. You're like, I like this option. Okay. Peacemakers, all right? We can make peace. You can make your point, or you can make peace. You can get even. That one's fun, right? It's like, hey, you did that to me, I'm going to get back at you. I'm going to do it back to you. Or you can make peace. You can win. Or you can make peace. Now, just for a second, I want you to think about this. What Jesus says is that when we make peace, what are we, he says we are happy. Happiness, blessings come to those who make peace. And I can tell you, and you will know if you will just be honest with yourself, these things, they tend to lead to stress. Or I could say unhappy, or I could say some other words there, but they tend to lead to stress. Like, for example, I can be in a disagreement with my wife, and I can win the argument. I can prove her wrong. I can show her how she doesn't know what she's talking about. But if at the end I win and we're not good, it is not fun in the house, okay? When you can win and still lose, okay? In fact, there is no winning an argument in a relationship, by the way. Because even if you win, okay, it is not peace, okay? And you're certainly not happy. I have another option, though. I can make peace. And that will lead to me being happy. See, we have an option whenever we're dealing with conflict with people and how we respond. And when we choose to make peace, we're happy. When we choose to fight and argue and get our point across and give them a piece of my mind, see, some of you, that's your problem. You've given them too many pieces of your mind and there's nothing left, okay? So and we're giving them this, and then there's stress, all right? There's stress when it comes to that because those things don't lead to good relationships. And look, if your relationship with your parents is bad, there's going to be stress in your life. If even with you think, well, I can just ignore my brother and sister. You live in the house with them. If this is a bad relationship, as long as you're home, your life is miserable. And some of you have experienced that because your relationship with somebody in your house is so bad. What if instead you've decided, I want to be happy. I want to go home and have peace. You're going to have to make some peace instead of making some stress like a lot of us tend to do because it's fun in the moment, but it doesn't lead to us being happy. So how do you make peace? Because I don't know exactly how to do that, right? So how do you make peace? Well, there's actually a lot of stuff we can talk about. I'm just going to show you just real quick a couple simple things, and I'm going to give you a way to remember it at the end. And I think it'll help you be happy. In fact, I know it'll help you if you'll do it. It'll help you be happy. In Romans chapter 12, he's talking about conflict with people. Does anybody ever have conflict with people? Yes, some of you right now. All right. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse. Okay, so somebody's persecuting you. That means there's what? Conflict. If somebody is against you, they're saying bad things, they're doing things, they're persecuting you, there is conflict. And what does he say to do? Bless. He says bless and do not curse. In other words, whenever I'm in conflict, I have an option. I can respond with bless, that's to do good, or I can respond with curse. And that's not just, bleep words, okay? That's cursing, that's being rude, that's being mean back, okay? So I can respond by doing good or doing evil, by doing what's right or getting my way. I have a choice, and he says, bless those who persecute you. So when I'm in conflict, I have a choice to do good to somebody or to not do good. And a couple verses later, he says this, if it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone else. Now, I like this because he kind of makes it obvious that there may be some people that you can't have peace with. Have you ever met one of them? They're so mean, even Satan's like, dude, chill, all right? Demons are like, you're not letting him into hell, are you? He's just mean, all right? So you met somebody like that, you can't get along with them. You've met somebody who's so dumb, their shoe size and IQ are the same, and you're just like, I can't even talk to you. You're like, you just described my sister. All right, but you've met people in your life, and you just feel like there is no way you can get along with them. But this is what this verse says. Okay, there may be times when you meet people that are just impossible, but it is never because of you. What does it say? As far as it depends on you to live in peace. So they may be like, I'm not having peace, I'm going to fight you. Blah, 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 blah. But as far as it depends on you, in other words, they're arguing, they're yelling. Are you going to yell? No. As far as it depends on you, there's going to be peace. Well, they started it, so I continued it. As far as it depends on you, you don't get to continue it. It doesn't matter what they start. You're the peacemaker. And when you become that kind of a person, I can tell you what starts to happen. Bad relationships stop affecting you so much. In fact, some bad relationships will even turn good. And you will start to experience and have happiness, peace in those relationships. Now, when it comes to family, it gets even more complicated, doesn't it? And I was reading some stuff, and this describes family to me so much. Y'all with me on this? I don't know about you, but me and my sister, man, we just fought all the time over the dumbest stuff, okay? But this verse, okay, this is going to be some of your situation, okay? Here we go. Don't have anything to do with foolish and stupid arguments, because they produce quarrels, which is fights. Stupid arguments, okay? I know all about it. We fought over whose turn it was in the front seat, who had the bigger piece of the cake, who had this, who had that, and you had the remote last time, I get to pick the show, no. Did anybody ever do that with their siblings, okay? And they were stupid arguments. According to a statistic that I made up, 99% of arguments are stupid, okay? Pretty much all of your arguments are stupid. Think about it. In 5 years, the last argument you had with your family, would that result matter? No. It was stupid. In 5 days even, it probably wouldn't. Probably not even in 5 hours. The last thing you argued over was just not worth it, okay? And yet we have these stupid arguments that we do all the time, and we fight over stuff, and we get all upset, and we make tension in our family, we make tension with our friends, and we cause all this drama in our life, and you're not happy. Because tension and fighting in your relationships will not leave you happy. But making peace in your friendships, in your relationships, in your family will leave you happy. So we gotta avoid the stupid arguments, that's for sure. But there are times when you can't just not talk about it, right? Like they're doing it to you over and over. Okay, they've made you late every single day, and you're so tired of being late, and you've got to have a conversation, right? Or they're taking advantage, and they're doing this. I had a time in high school, I had this teacher, and they gave me a report card, and I had a B. Except I had made an A on every paper and every test. And I was like, that's not possible. And so you could say, okay, I'm going to be a peacemaker. I'm just going to say, oh, well, okay? But no. And so there is a way, though, to be a peacemaker and still deal with the problem, okay? And it turns out the next verse talks about that, okay? He says, because they produce quarrels, okay, to avoid the stupid arguments, and the Lord's servant must, now let me pause for a second, the Lord's servant. Now, if you're not a Christian, this stuff will help you have better relationships. If you are a Christian, I want you to notice the word must. Okay, a Christian, the Lord's servant must. This is what a Lord's servant does. This is how a Christian lives. Must not be quarrelsome, but must be kind to everyone. When there's a disagreement, when there's a conflict, you have a choice. You've got to deal with it, but you can do it kind or you can do it quarrelsome, which is a weird word. I mean, I don't ever use that. I'm like, you're so quarrelsome, okay? You're a jerk. Okay, you can be kind or you can be jerky about it, all right? You can be kind or you can be quarrelsome. So, like me and my sister, did you ever fight over whose turn it was in the front seat? Anybody? Is that just us? Okay. The front seat's better, all right? You got the air conditioner in the summer, and the back is like, I'm sweating, okay. And so you got it. We fought over that all the time, and it was stupid. Now, you could say, all right, be the peacemaker. Just let them have it all the time. And you're like, oh, never, okay? But you know what? You can have a conversation about it and not fight. Of course, we figured it out, okay? We said, you know what? One of us gets even days, one of us gets odd days. So the even day of the year, that's yours, and if it's an odd day, it's mine. And then we never fought again. And some of you are like, oh, I'm doing that when I get home because I'm tired of fighting over that. Of course, you know, there's more odd days in a year than even days, so don't tell your sibling, okay? No, or you could be the peacemaker and give them the one with more days, okay? But anyways, you can still, and so like with that teacher that had me with the B when I really had an A, I went and had a conversation, but I didn't walk in the room and say, you're so dumb, okay? What do you think? And give me and I told her, I said, I have an A in here. And she said, no, you have a B. And I said, well, can we look over my grades? And I kindly talked to her and got it resolved. If I would have been quarrelsome, it wouldn't have gotten resolved, but we fixed it. And a lot of the times in your relationships and family stuff, you're quarrelsome. You want to stir it up. They did wrong, and you want to make sure they know it. Instead, be kind, and you will find peace in your relationships. So I'm going to end with what I call PJ's Guide to Making Peace, all right? PJ's Guide to Making Peace, all right? It is super easy. It will help you. It will change your relationships if you'll remember this. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to picture who it is that you fight with the most. Okay, whoever it is that you don't get along with, you have the most conflict. Does everybody have a picture? You don't have to close your eyes if you don't want to. All right, so you're picturing the person that you quarrel with the most, okay? Here's my guide, my key to making peace. Have gas, okay? Don't make that face. That's gross. All right, yeah, gas. Not that gas, okay? If you think about that, you'll probably smile, and that'll probably help the situation. But we'll keep going. Here it is. Gas. Give. Give. What do I mean by that? Give. When you are in conflict with somebody, many, many times, if you will just be willing to give something, the conflict will resolve itself. Okay, so they cut the piece of cake, and they cut it too off-centered, and one piece is bigger and one piece is smaller, and you're going to fight over who gets the bigger piece. Or you can just give. You can have that one and have some peace in your life instead of fighting over it. What a stupid thing to fight about. Well, I like the cake, okay? Yeah, but why are we fighting over? Sometimes if we will just give. Okay, you can have this turn. I know it's really my turn, but, we don't say that out loud. But you may be thinking that, but just give. And you know what? You're going to find peace. Sometimes you need to forgive. You need to forgive somebody. You need to forgive somebody for what they did. That's what you need to give. Sometimes you need to give patience to somebody. If you would be willing to give in these situations in conflict, you will make peace, and you will be blessed because of it. Apologize. Apologize. Most arguments will end if you would just say, I'm sorry. And it's so hard for some of us. Okay, we even know it was our fault and we don't want to say, I'm sorry sometimes. You know what I'm talking about? But if you would just say, I'm sorry, so many arguments would end immediately. In fact, I would encourage you to say, I'm sorry, even if you know it wasn't your fault. Because it is not worth having a fight with your family over stuff when all you had to do was say, I'm sorry. The last one. And this one is really important for you, okay? Shut up, okay? There are times when you are just, you and your brother and sister, and you're just going at it, and you just, your mouth will get you in more trouble than anything else in your life. You need to sometimes just shut up, okay? Whenever you feel that conflict and your mom said something and I can't believe and you're ready to just make your point, you know what you need to do? Shut your mouth and be quiet until you get your head level. If you would learn to just be quiet, you would stop some of you wouldn't be grounded half as much. You would just have a lot more peace. And I can tell you what you will also be. Happy, at least happier, if you would just learn to keep your mouth closed. So it might look like this. For some of you, your conflict is going to happen as soon as you get in the car to go home. Your mom's going to pick you up, your dad's going to pick you up, and you get in the car, and they say, I told you to clean your room before you went, and you didn't clean. And your normal thing is, well, okay, I don't know what you normally say, but you just go off, and so instead you're going to close your eyes, and you go, PJ said, what did he say? He said, have gas. And then you're going to smile, you're going to feel a little better, okay? Because that's kind of the point there, okay? And then maybe you just say, I'm sorry, I should have done that. I will do it as soon as I get home. And now, I know some of you are, that's not enough, and they're still going to keep going. And then what do? You shut up, okay? Because they're your parents, and you just shut up. And you know what? If you would just apologize and be quiet, your stress level is going to go way down. And you're going to become more happy. Some of you need to give something. The next time you have an argument with your brother and sister, you just to let them have a turn. And instead of having this big dramatic thing in your day, you just give and you walk away and you know, I was the peacemaker. And you'll be blessed and you'll be more happy. Some of you right now have a big mess in some situations with some people. And you can begin to resolve it if you will become the one who makes peace. So you may be going, well, they're not trying. Well, you try. You be the peacemaker. What if you got known as the one who did this? You were known by people as the one who has gas. All right, you were known. I can never be serious. You were known as the one who always is willing to apologize, who's always, well, just keep your mouth shut when you should have, who gives, who's the one that's that way. I tell you what, people would look at you, and they'd be the kind of person they want to be friends with. You'll be the kind of person they want to hang out with. Because if I make a mistake, I'm going to say I'm sorry. Because if it's going to be them or me, I'm going to go ahead and give to them. People want to be around those people. Well, heck, they might actually think you're a Christian, right? Because you act like one. Because we live our lives as people that make peace. And you'll be happier. Can you imagine if Christians all lived this way? People couldn't talk bad about Christians. It'd be hard to talk bad about somebody that's always willing to give. It'd be hard to talk bad about somebody that always apologized when they made a mistake, or even when they didn't. And your relationships will be better if you will. So what we're going to end, and we're going to just have a very short time of prayer, and then we've got lots of snacks and stuff. But if you are having a conflict with somebody, this is very easy for me to say. This can be very hard for you to do. So we want to pray with you that relationship will start turning better. And there'll be people in just a moment at the back of the room to pray with you. And so I'm going to pray over us all. And when I say amen, we'll all stand. And if you need prayer for that, or really for anything else that's going on in your life, we'd love to pray with you. We'll be dismissed in just a moment. Father God, I thank you that you love us so much, that you teach us how to deal with those happenings in our life that cause us stress. I pray that you would help us to build good relationships. And I pray that you would mend those broken ones and give peace. In Jesus' name, amen.